Takaki talked a lot about the immigrant women that came to the country, especially the Irish and the Chinese, which I found interesting because normally when people talk about immigration, they just talk about people in general or maybe just specifically men. And I found this interesting because when they talk about it in general, normally it seems like the men have it harder just because they have to support their family and whatnot. But I think that it was interesting that Takaki made it seem like the women had it just as hard, if not harder, than the men, which isn't always publicized. For example, there were a lot more Irish women that immigrated than men, which caused marriage rates to go down since there wasn't enough men for the women to marry. The Irish women got jobs such as servants, waitresses, as well as jobs in the factory. The servant jobs often got really lonely, and the factory jobs were dangerous as well as lonely. So going back to Ireland kind of seemed like a better life. However, the only positive, well, not the only, but a positive was that women were able to be financially dependent. On the other hand, there was a lot more male Chinese immigrants than women Chinese immigrants. The ratio was actually 14-1. And this is because the Chinese tradition limited migration for women, so they weren't allowed to come as much. But more women started coming, so they were put in windows and men could window shop for them. And this often led to women to use drugs and then overdose. And so the women really needed more of a purpose to come to the United States since it didn't really create the brightest life for them.